But yeah, this is my game room, at least for my older systems. So starting off over here, we can work our way up. I've got the Xbox, original Xbox, Wii, and then GameCube games as we go up. And I've got some little Sonic, McDonald's LCD toys on display there on the shelf. So as you can see, I've got quite a few Wii games, which I think that system gets a lot of crap, but really when you look at it, the library is decent. There's at least a few dozen games that are good amongst all the crap. I also have my Neo Geo X Mega Pack Volume 1, and then as we come up here, I've got TurboGrafx, Dreamcast, and some PlayStation games in there, and at the very top, which you probably can't see, I've got a few of the Jaguar games. And then I also have this Dreamcast Game Shark out, which, look at this box, like, what is the point of that? Like, what does this chick have to do with the Game Shark at all, other than just flinging cleavage out there, which I guess I'm not going to complain. And then on display I've got my Master System, which I don't have hooked up because I'm not really that inclined to play it, but I just think it's one of those systems that you don't see too often, so I want to put it on display. And then I've got my loose Genesis carts here. And I've got this Hot Wheels Sega collection. I think these came out like kind of in the GameCube era. You get Jet Set Radio Future, Monkey Ball, Shinobi, House of the Dead, Space Channel 5. Kind of when Sega had just come out of the demise of the Dreamcast, and they were making really good games for the original Xbox and GameCube, and it just seemed like, you know, Sega was still on the right path even though the Dreamcast was dead. And then, you know, as we all know, they've kind of faded away in recent years. Got Gollum up there watching over the game room, and then I have a gutted N64 which I want to do a mod on. I haven't decided if I'm going to just do a custom paint job on the actual case itself, or if I'm going to try and build another one and stick the guts in. I don't know, we'll see. I'll probably make a video on that. Coming over here, I've got some artwork that my wife has done, and then my Steel Battalion controller. For those of you who don't know the Steel Battalion, it's a incredibly involved mech game for the original Xbox. I think the initial run for this from Capcom was like 10,000 of these were made. I have the original run. You can see the buttons here are green. That's from the original production of the controller, and it is such a crazy mech game. There's pedals that go with it too that I don't have on display just because I don't have any place to put them. And you control your mech with this massive controller. There's even an eject button. If you do not eject when your mech is going down, you die. That's it. Your game's over. There's no getting it back. You can't go back to old save states. Game's done. You're dead and you start from scratch. It's pretty ridiculous. I got my Toshiba Tube TV here, and then I got my systems below that I actually play quite frequently. It's a little dark, but I got my NES Top Loader, TurboGrafx, the Retron 3, which I have just as a space saver. I do have all three of those systems, obviously, outside of that, but it just works well enough that I use that instead. My Dreamcast, this is one of two that I've got. This is the black sports model, which I think looks better. Neo Geo X Gold, Wii, black, original Xbox, and then my GameCube. I don't have a PlayStation 2 right now. I sold off my PlayStation 2. I sold off a lot of my collection about 8 years ago, and I haven't gotten one back. Just been waiting for the right deal to come along. And then here I've got some more consoles that are interesting, I think, to display, but not something I really want to play, but I thought it was worth having them out. Virtual Boy, of course. I've got about 8 games for that. And my 3DO and Atari Jaguar. Again, those aren't systems I'm going to play a lot, but I just think they're cool to have out in the game room. Just to check out. I mean, it's not a common thing. A lot of people don't know what they are. And I've got my Halo Reach figurine above that. And then, of course, coming down here, I have my Super Nintendo collection, a couple N64 games. I just picked up an N64. I'm actually not a huge fan of that system. I had one, and that was one that I sold at one point too. And coming over is my favorite system to collect for, and the one that I loved the most as a kid. So that's obviously where I focus a lot of energy, is my NES collection, and then some random toys. I do have the boxed 4-score out, mostly just because I'll probably end up using that at some point, so I wanted to keep it out with the box. And there is my NES collection, and then moving over, the last little bit of gaming-related stuff in the game room here is my Legend of Zelda posters and my futon. But yes, that is My gaming room, or gaming corner, I guess, for my retro stuff. You're probably wondering, where are my other consoles? I can show you that, actually. Alright, so here's the TV that I game on for my other systems, like the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii U. As you can see, I have them all hooked up to this TV, but they are not on display, and that's because I hate clutter, I hate wires and everything. As you can see, there's no cable box even. I have that all run behind the wall. So as you come over here, when I bought this house, it had this little door on the side of the wall that went to nothing. I don't know what the previous owner had used it for, but I saw it as a great way to store my electronics and keep the clutter out. So I built this little cabinet here. I've got the Wii U on the top. Coming down, I have my Xbox 360 and PS3. I made this custom faceplate. It turned out okay, mostly just because I wanted all the systems to be black. As you can see, it's actually just the standard white on the side. I didn't take the time to paint that. And then coming down, I've got games, and this is stacked too deep here. And I keep all my games in here as well, mostly just because it keeps it all organized, and I've got little kids, so I like to keep them out of reach. And what I did here, which I thought was cool, was I built a shelf into the wall, and this actually is on sliders, so it just slides right out of the wall, and I've got my whole library of games, which, as you can see, it's great, but it's still not enough storage, so I'm probably going to have to figure out a different solution to that at some point. But yeah, that is it. Didn't want to make this video too long, just wanted to show you my gaming setup. I'm sure there's a lot better and more impressive collections out there, and I don't have everything on display. I keep a lot of stuff boxed up that I just don't need out, but this is the stuff I like to actually play frequently, so that's what I keep out. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.